Good morning, students. So today we will be doing lesson number 8. How do organisms reproduce? And this is the part 1 of this lesson. Okay. Now, students, we have already studied about the different type of life processes, like that of nutrition, like that of respiration, like that of circulation, and like that of excretion. Now, all these four life processes, we call them as life processes because these processes are required for the maintenance of life. But there we did not mention about reproduction. Why we did not mention about reproduction there? Is reproduction a life process or not? Now let me tell you, reproduction is not a life process because reproduction is not required for the survival of an organism. Then you will ask me, if it is not required for the survival of an organism, then what are the importance of reproduction? Is there any importance? Yes. So here let me just give you an example. Let us take a husband and wife. Okay. They do not have a child. Now if they do not have a child, that means they do not reproduce. Does it happen that they are not surviving on the earth's surface? No. They are surviving on the earth's surface. So an organism can definitely survive without reproduction. But then what is the drawback? The drawback is that this husband and wife has not created a new generation. They have not produced an offspring of their own. They have not transmitted their characters into a new generation. For the transmission of characters into a new generation, to bring about a variation, a reproduction is required. Okay. At the same time, reproduction is required for the maintenance of species. Now all these points we will discuss in this lesson. So first of all, let us go to define reproduction. Now what is reproduction? Now reproduction is a process by which living organisms produce new organisms which are similar to themselves. Similar to themselves means you can see here, this is a mother elephant giving rise to a baby elephant. This is a mother panda giving rise to a baby panda. So whenever reproduction occurs, it will always give rise to the organisms which are similar to themselves. Okay, a mango tree will definitely give rise to a mango tree. An apple tree will give rise to an apple tree. So they always produce similar organisms. So this is one of the characteristic feature of reproduction. Now, why is reproduction essential? As in the beginning itself I mentioned to you that reproduction is not a life process. If it is not a life process, then what is the essentiality of reproduction? What is the necessity of reproduction? So that we will discuss in the next slide. So why is reproduction needed? Now reproduction is needed to, point number 1, to retain a particular species of living organisms. Now when I say to retain the particular species of living organism, that means it will help in the perpetuation of the species. What do you mean by the word perpetuation of the species? Perpetuation of the species means continuation of the particular species is called as a perpetuation of the species. Okay. Now here we will discuss in this particular slide. Students, you can see here, these are butterflies here. Now you can see a mother butterfly and a father butterfly. They are producing a large number of offspring. You can see 8 of the butterflies over here. They are producing their offsprings in a larger number. Okay. Why are those butterflies producing their organism in a larger number? So that if there is any natural calamities, if there is any accidents, okay, what will happen? Out of the 8, at least 2 of them will survive. And if 2 of them will survive, it will help in perpetuating the species ahead. It will help in retaining a particular species ahead in their life. Correct? So reproduction is required to retain a particular species of living organisms on the earth's surface. Or it is responsible for the perpetuation of a species on the earth's surface. Okay? Now, let us see the next character. Now, the next character is reproduction help in the transmission of characters from one generation to the next. Now when I say characters, what are these characters? Now characters, like for example, I will take the character of hair. Now in the character of hair, your mother may be having a straight hair, whereas the father may be having a curly hair. Now in case you have a straight hair, that means you have received the character from your mother. Or in case if you have a curly hair, you have received the character from your father. But then who is responsible for the transmission of these characters? Now the transmission of the characters is carried out by gene. The transmission of characters is carried out by gene. And where are the genes present? The genes are present on a molecule which is called as DNA. DNA contains different type of genes, and these genes are responsible for transmission of characters from one generation to the next. Because of these genes, there is similarity between the offspring, that is children, and the parents. Now let us see this slide over here. Students, you can see this is a cell. Inside the cell is a nucleus. Inside the nucleus is a chromosome. What does the chromosome contain? DNA. And what are the parts of the DNA called as? Units or parts of the DNA are called as a gene. And what is the function of the gene? A gene is responsible for the transmission of characters from one generation to the next. It is responsible for the transmission of characters from one generation to the next. Okay. What is responsible? Genes are responsible. Where are the genes present? The genes are present on the DNA. Where are the DNA present? The DNA is present in a chromosome. Where are the chromosomes present? It is present inside the nucleus of a particular cell. Okay. Now, let's go to the next slide. Now, as I told you that reproduction will help in the transmission of characters from one generation to the next. Here we told about the similar characters. But at some time, reproduction do produce variation. Variation means there will be total differences. Okay. Now, there is a differences. Like for example here, you can see I have given the example of a polar bear and brown bear. You know that both of them are bears, but both of them are showing variation. And if they are showing any variation, is it helpful to them? Yes. These variations are very helpful to them, because the variation of in the polar bear, that is a white color, okay, of the fur will help in surviving in a snow-clad region, whereas the brown color fur of the brown bears will help in camouflaging between the dried leaves in a forest. Okay. So definitely when an organism reproduces, an organism passes on similarities to the organism, to the offsprings. Okay. At the same time, it passes on even variation to the offsprings. Okay. Both similarities and variations are required for the survival of the offsprings. Okay. More about the similarities and variation and how it will help in its survival, we will study more about this variations and similarities in the lesson of evolution. Okay. So we limit ourselves here talking about variations and similarities. Here we just said why is reproduction essential. Okay. So we studied that reproduction is essential for the perpetuation of a species, that is maintaining or retaining the number of the species. Second, we studied that it is responsible for passing on the similarities, and the similarities are passed on because of the genes which are present in the DNA. And we studied that at the same time, this DNA will also bring about what you call it as variation. And I explained to you how variation is important for the survival of an organism in different environment, like polar region surviving in a cold region, and brown bear surviving in a forest. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now students, the types of reproduction. There are basically two types of reproduction. One is called as an asexual reproduction and the other is called as a sexual reproduction. Now sexual reproduction is of only one type, and we will study the characters of both asexual and sexual reproduction. But asexual reproduction are of several types, like for example binary fission in case of amoeba, multiple fission in case of plasmodium, budding in case of yeast and hydra. Okay, whereas we do not have the types of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is of only of one type. Further, we will study the characters of this type, different types of reproduction. Yeah. Now, characters of sexual reproduction. Now, as far as sexual reproduction is concerned, in sexual reproduction, two parents are involved. We require a male as well as a female for sexual reproduction. Now, because we have one parent as male and another parent as a female, that's why the individuals or offsprings which are produced by sexual reproduction always shows variation. Why it is showing variation? Because it is going to get the characters from the mother as well as father, because two individuals are involved over here. Next, newborns are similar to their parents. You can see that there is similarity, correct? All of them are looking similar in a particular family because they are getting the gene from that particular family. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now, in sexual reproduction, what is very, very important is there should be formation of gametes. So students, you can see here, this is a female gamete, that is the ovum, and this is a male gamete, that is the sperm. The female gamete is called as the ovum and the male gamete is called as the sperm. So formation of gametes are very important. Now when I say the formation of gametes are very important, now where does the formation of gametes takes place? The formation of the gametes takes place in the reproductive organs. That is, you can see the female reproductive organ and the male reproductive organ here. I will just enlarge so that you can see properly. Students, this is the female gamete and this female gamete is called as the ovum. Now this ovum is produced in the female reproductive system. Can you see? This is the ovum and this is the female reproductive system. Okay. Now students, this is the sperm. This is the sperm you are seeing here. This is the sperm. Now the sperm is produced in the male reproductive system. Can you see the male reproductive system here? Okay. Now let us move on to the next slide. So students, we have studied here the characters of sexual reproduction. Point number 1, for sexual reproduction, what is required? Two parents are required. Next, newborns which are produced are similar to their parents. Similar to their parents. Next, the sexual reproduction involves the formation of gametes. Gametes are the sex cells which will help in reproduction. And where are these gametes formed? The gametes are formed in the reproductive organ, that is a male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ respectively. Now we will go to the next slide. Now students, here you can see we will study the characters of asexual reproduction. For the characters of asexual reproduction, in asexual reproduction, a single parent is involved. A single parent is involved. Here you can see the budding in case of yeast. So this is the parent yeast cell. Here you can see it is producing small buds. You can see the buds getting detached. So here only one parent is involved. Since only one parent is involved, the chances of variation is very, very less. The chances of mixing of characters is very, very less. There we had two parents. So two parent means what? Two different characters will mix. But here only one parent is involved. Since one parent is involved, you know, the children formed in asexual reproduction are the identical copies of their parent. Identical copies. You can see this is a yeast, and from the yeast body itself it is pinching and it will result in the formation of new cells by the process called as budding. Budding is a type of asexual mode of reproduction in lower organisms like that of yeast. Okay. So as I told you, one parent is involved, and the next statement we will see, as one parent is involved, you can see as one parent is involved, a new generation is an identical or true copy of the parent. Okay. So here you can see one parent is involved. This is a yeast cell. Okay. As I told you, you can see it is pinching off and small buds are formed over here. Okay. Now the second diagram which you are seeing is that of new generation formed as identical or the true copy of the parent, because only one parent is involved. You can see this is amoeba. The amoeba is undergoing the process which is called as a binary fission. You can see that it is splitting up to form two amoebae, and this two amoebae will be the identical copies of the mother amoeba or the parent amoeba, because here only one parent is involved. Is it clear? So let's go to the next character. Here, in case of the asexual reproduction, it does not require the formation of gamete. Gamete formation is not there. Since the gamete formation is not there, definitely reproductive organs are not required. Okay, which is a requirement in case of sexual mode of reproduction. Now, in case of this here, it does not require gamete. Here I have shown you again budding. Now, your budding, you can see this is the hydra. From the hydra, you can see the small buds are produced. The buds will undergo maturity. It will detach from the parent amoeba, fall onto the ground, will develop to form a new organisms. Okay, there's another type of asexual reproduction which is called as fragmentation. Here in case of fragmentation, Spirogyra, the body of the Spirogyra will break into small fragments and each fragment will develop to form a new organisms. So here also only one parent is involved. And here there is no requirement of any gamete. There is no fusion of gamete. There is no requirement of any special reproductive organ. So students, in today's session, we defined what is reproduction. We studied why reproduction is essential. We studied about the two types of reproduction, that is a sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Okay. In next session, we will study about the different type of asexual reproduction. And now it's time for your assignments. Okay. Assignment, define the term reproduction. Okay. You know it is a process by which an organism produces a similar organism of its own type. Okay. Next one is distinguish between sexual and asexual mode of reproduction. You know the difference between sexual and asexual mode of reproduction. Next, why is reproduction needed? You know the 3 points. 1. It is required for the perpetuation to retain the number of species, correct, on the earth's surface. Next, you studied that it is responsible for passing the similarities from one generation to the next generation. And you saw that at the same time reproduction brings about variation. In variation, we spoke about the variation in a polar bear as well as that of a brown bear and how those variation will help in survival. So students, I hope you have understood this session. That's all for today. Thank you.